Hey, good morning. Thank you for watching. And Nikki Porcher, thank you for stopping by and joining us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Tom. It truly is
Oh,
an honor.
no problems. Great having you. I'm doing a series of interviews with trying to do all the state candidates, but right now I'm focused on labor commissioner. And you are one of, I think, four
Yeah.
labor commissioner candidates. So the labor commissioner candidate field is a little bit full right now. But we'll get into all that. I know, first of all, I think for most of the people running, this is probably your first time running, certainly for statewide office. So why don't we'll get started by going through the usual stuff. So kind of introduce yourself, your background, your family, your work, whatever you want to do. So go ahead. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Porcher. I am a mother, an educator, a veteran, a homeowner, a Georgian now. I have been in Georgia the last 12 years consistently, but I also was in the military at Warner Robins Air Force Base where I served for 7 years, 8 years there as well. So I left and came back, and part of the reason why I'm running as well. I have a son who's active duty Army too, and he's serving part of why I'm running for Georgia Labor Commissioner as well. And I'm just ready to get into the interview. I don't want to, spend too much time talking about myself because I'm going to be talking about myself throughout the interview anyway. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being a veteran. I'm a ex-Navy guy,
Oh, I'm
so I,
sorry.
I feel I feel you. Yeah, there were times I was feeling sorry for myself too when I'm out there in the ocean for months on end, but I appreciate that. So okay, let's get into it. So why are you running for Georgia Labor Commissioner?
Yeah, so I'm running for Georgia Labor Commissioner. This is really the next step in my life, right? So for the last 10 years, I've been leading an organization that supports people across the country. And I learned that if you want to be a better advocate for people, you have to move from working from the outside of the system to be inside the system. I spent my entire adult life serving, giving, creating, and showing up for all different type of communities from all different type of backgrounds. I've seen up close where the gaps are. I've experienced myself where the gaps are. I've seen people get ignored. I've seen how leaders talk to each other instead of talking to people. And I realized that I have to step up. I have to step up. If you want change, they say you want change, be the change you want to see, and stop talking so much about everything when you can do something. Last year, I really got into Project 2025. I was leading study groups around that, and I was asking myself, like, what can I do? Like, yes, I'm reading and I'm educating people about what's going on, but is there something that I can do? And when I looked at the community, I looked at the state, and I looked at the work I was already doing with the organization, Labor Commissioner really just became the government version or the government title of the work that I was already doing, supporting families, helping small businesses, creating jobs, getting people through systems that they don't understand, standing up for people who are often overlooked. This role rather, is really just the government title for the work I've been doing in my personal life and every organization I've already led.
Well, thanks. Good answer. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so labor commissioner, it's one of these jobs at state level that has very specific kind of functions and roles. What do you think your two top issues are when it comes to becoming the next labor commissioner?
Yeah, so my two top issues, I have a total of five, but the two top ones, which, are childcare and small businesses. And they're the center of everything when it comes to labor, when it comes to worker, when it comes to employment. Childcare is really a workforce issue, especially in Georgia. People are paying more for childcare than they're paying for rent, than they're paying for college. As even some counties don't even have a licensed provider, so now they're depending on friends, family to actually watch the child without even having everything in place. And it's just something that I could not imagine having to pay for childcare today, if I'm being honest with you. Like
Right.
it's a lot. So that's part of it. Also, small businesses. Small businesses are the other side of our workforce equation. 99.6% of Georgia businesses are small businesses, and they employ half of the people in the state. So there's no reason why they should not be part of Labor Commissioner. Through the work I've done the last 10 years, I have helped more than 700 entrepreneurs. I helped generate 6.12 million in revenue. I built programs that have been trusted by partners like PayPal, H&M, Living Proof, the NMSDC. I've worked with the IRS Northwest with FTC, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and also the 50 state initiative as well to put small business center hubs in all 50 states. So childcare, small businesses, they really go together. And it's like childcare, workforce support, and small businesses. Everything is connected when it comes to the labor commissioner, and making sure that we have those things in place is how I plan to lead.
Okay. And I didn't mean to cut you off at just two. You said you have five. You want to briefly just talk about the other three, or sure?
Oh, yes. So
Okay.
it is making childcare accessible, small
Right.
jobs as business creators, workforce development and program and trainings that work, making sure that fair wages and fair workplaces are being established, and of course, making sure that the Department of Labor is up to date to be able to be accessible to all of those who are using it, whether they're using it from the inside or from the out.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now, often Georgia gets heralded as being one of the top states for businesses. Governor Kemp likes to say that all the time,
Mhm.
and not even begrudging that. If we're good for business, that's fine. But we never hear anything bragging about Georgia being a great state for workers. So let's talk
Yeah.
about that. What do you think can the labor commissioner or you as labor commissioner can do to help workers or to help worker rights, unions, wages, all that stuff? What's your feelings on that?
Yes, like you, I hear so often how Georgia is number one in business, but that means nothing if the people who are keeping the businesses running can't afford to live, they can't afford to work, they can't afford to take care of their families. I worked in classrooms, I worked in big communities, small communities, I worked alongside hundreds of business owners, and what I learned is when businesses protect the workers, workers protect their businesses. It's not an either or, it should be both. As a former school teacher, as somebody who has worked in middle Georgia, helping people find stability in their homes, work in nonprofits to help people with the healthcare, I've created jobs, I generate millions of revenues. I've seen workforce from every single angle, and I know how it feels when you don't have enough money. I know how small businesses are trying to look for help, but they're not sure where to find good workers. I know how systems fail people when they're outdated, when they're confusing, when they're inaccessible. Um, Sorry about that. But for me, I want the Department of Labor to be a big role on both sides. Again, strong jobs build strong communities, and we do that making sure that we are making sure that we're advocating for both businesses and workers.
Okay, good. Now let's see. Building on that, or actually, let's shift away from issues just for a second. Let's go more into the actual nuts and bolts because in primaries, a lot of the times, you and your three opponents are probably going to agree on most things. I think as Democrats are going to have sort of the same vision. But what do you think sets you apart from your opponents? What, based on what you know about them, and it's not really, I'm not even really talking about them so much. What do you think you have that gives you that advantage over somebody who you're running against for this job?
Yes, for me, everyone that I am trying to help, I've been that person, right? I have lived experience, I have real work experience with everything that's going on. I have been a single mother trying to find out work without a college degree. I've also been looking for work after I maintained my degree here in Georgia. I've been a public school teacher here in Georgia as well, knowing that I have to stretch that paycheck, but also knowing that my paycheck is not just for me and my family, it's also for the kids I'm teaching as well, because I can tell you stories about how I was a mother to so many of my students too. I've helped families in
Mhm.
Middle Georgia through working with the Habitat for Humanity down there to help them find housing for health challenges, and trying to actually just figure out how I can do this with what I'm being paid. I've helped businesses from scratch. I've created a national organization that has helped thousands of entrepreneurs access funding, access training, opportunities that turn into real jobs, opportunities that had them hire people. I've worked with other partners, agencies in the government and also outside the government. I know all of the things that we're trying to solve. I've experienced them and I also have solutions for them. So what sets me apart is that I am who I'm advocating for. Every person who has an issue going on, I have lived that issue, solved that issue, and am able to help them with the issue going forward.
Okay, great. Um, Now, as far as strategy goes, uh, like I said, I think it's four persons, right? Four people right now. Uh, we still got a ways to go in the primary. So I always like to ask a little bit of a strategy kind of question. Without giving anything away that you don't want to give away.
Thank you.
What's your yeah, I mean everybody's got their little secrets, right? So
Yes.
uh, uh but moving forward, just in a general sense, what's your campaign strategy for the fundraising, for getting out the vote, all that kind of nuts and bolts stuff? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the thing about me when it comes to what my strategy is, I don't have to say it's a strategy because I've been doing it the last 10 years, so it's just doing it more, right? I'm running
Right,
a people-centered campaign. I'm trying to meet Georgians where they are and not just outlining just one or two metro counties, but all 159 counties. And that's why we launched the Every County Counts campaign, where we're making sure every county knows that they count. I'm committed to visiting communities across all 159 counties as much as I can because
right,
people deserve a labor commissioner who shows up before, also after. And if I'm not counting all the counties, how can I represent them in a way that puts Georgia first?
right. Yeah, and that's a real challenge. It is. People, I don't think, stop and realize that Georgia being the biggest state east of the Mississippi, we have
Mhm.
159 counties. That's a real challenge. And I'm one of those counties that people have a hard time getting to because I'm way up here in the northwest corner. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate any effort any candidate makes to do that. So let's see. So let's see. Okay, so you're going to do the trying to get out to all 159 counties. Now, let's say you get through the primary or the runoff or whatever is needed. You are now the labor commissioner candidate for the Democratic Party. What do you see as your role, or what do you bring to that combined campaign effort with all the candidates up and down the ticket? What can you do to uh, help that effort? I guess you could say.
Yes, so part of that is I'm planning for that now. And that's me being forward thinking. That's also me being confident in the role, and just
Right,
how I operate, making sure that what they're talking about on their platforms also align with what I'm talking about so that whenever whoever comes together, that we have that same plan, reaching out, working together. I have ideas for programs that we can do while we're on the campaign trail so that our constituents don't have to wait for us to be in office to get help. I think once I end the Democrat nominee, I'll be able to leverage my network more. I'll be able to leverage the work that I've already done because now people are actually listening and watching. So I won't have to wait to be in office to do the work because I've been doing the work the last 10 years. I can now do the work in real time. And that's my campaign. That's my campaign is showing up for people. Like I said, it's a people-centered campaign and being able to let all 159 counties know that I'm here for you. As a nominee, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to get to the people who need to hear what I'm saying because, you got that spotlight on you.
all right. You've talked about some of your past experience. You're going to be, if you win the entire thing, now you're the labor commissioner, you're going to be in charge of one of the larger departments. And I know I don't think any of the candidates have, it would be hard to have experience like that. That's a very unique thing, but you do have other experiences that you've referenced. What are some of those things that you've done in the past, specifically organizations, that kind of thing that you've worked with or for, or you developed that will help you in that role?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I built a national organization with more than 700 entrepreneurs. We had over 260 community members. We've created jobs. We generate 6.12 million in revenue, and that's only on record from 2021. I've built system training programs. I manage teams. I partner with national brands. I've earned the trust of so many community and people across the country, right? So the federal agencies I work with, I worked with the IRS, I worked with FTC, I worked with the U.S. Department of Treasury for 50 States Initiative. I know how to navigate and talk to those people. And these are partnerships that I leveraged on my own. They were not given to me. They didn't just show up. Also,
Mhm.
I worked with the Prosperity Now, the Latin American Association, the White House Initiative on Advancing Education, Equity, Excellence, and Economy Opportunity for Black America, and the Power Up series as well. And there's a lot of coordination that goes with that. There's a lot of planning that goes with that. Being able to keep these programs up and running across different states. That's not an easy task. So also I've been recognized. This year I won gold for Women of the Year in Government and Nonprofit, also gold in Achievement in Diversity and Inclusion. I got silver for Female Social Activist of the Year and Organization of the Year and Event of the Year. Again, these are things that have been recognized not just by my peers, but also by people who are only able to see the work I do. They don't get to interview me, they just only get to see the work I'm doing. And this is the recognition that I got that. So I know what I'm doing, right? And I didn't even mention, but the Air Force, I was in the military, I have been deployed, I've been to two wars. So I am a decorated Air Force war veteran as well. I've managed classrooms, I've managed high school and middle schoolers. And I feel like if I can make middle schoolers do work, I can make the state work.
Yeah, if you can handle middle schoolers, I think you can handle just about anything. I was a high school teacher.
Okay.
I was an alternative school teacher, and
Oh, wow.
that's its own little task. But I never had. I only had to deal with middle schoolers once, and that was enough. So that's a high energy level job right there. So
It
I
really is.
appreciate anybody that can do that. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of things here. I'm trying to see if we've covered everything. Do you want to? Is there anything else you want to add before we go into your final spiel about why we should vote for you and elect you our next
I
labor?
think, I prepared for this interview because I prepare for everything. I don't just
Right,
show up.
right,
So the questions that you all asked, they were answers I had, but it also helped me make it more plain and deeper into what I'm doing. So I appreciate sending questions beforehand. No,
right,
I mean, I'm always here and people want to learn more about me. They want to reach out to me. They want to claim a county. Also, making sure that we get more counties on that map. But
right.
yeah, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we still got a little time. So normally I say to the candidate, give a 1 or 2 minutes. Give us your stump speech about why we should elect you. You've actually got a little more time if you want to go there, but
Oh,
give us why elect Nikki Porcher to be the next labor commissioner of the state of Georgia.
okay. So, okay, I'm gonna
I
read
know
my
you. I
stump
know you.
speech.
I know you. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, do it. That's good. Okay.
Okay. I'm running for Georgia Labor Commissioner because this is the next step in my life work. For the past 10 years, I led a nonprofit that supports people across the country. And I learned something important. At a certain point, if you want to be a better advocate for people, you have to move from working outside the system to being inside the system. I spent my entire life serving, giving, creating, and showing up for communities of all backgrounds. I've seen up close where gaps are. I've seen who gets ignored. I've seen how leaders talk to each other instead of talking to people. And I realized that if I truly want to keep helping people, I have to step into places where decisions are actually being made. Last year, I was reading and studying Project 2025, and I asked myself a simple question: what can I do to serve my community better? I looked at the different positions, and like I mentioned earlier, I kept coming back to Labor Commissioner because it connects directly to the work I've already been doing for years, supporting families, helping small businesses, creating jobs, guiding people through complicated systems, standing up for people who are often overlooked. This role is the government title for the work I've been doing in my personal life and also the organizations that I've also been a part of. And the truth is, people really don't know how much this job touches their lives. They don't realize how important the Department of Labor is until the crisis hit, until unemployment claims are denied, until they can't get child care, until gig workers do not know where to turn. Small businesses cannot find help. There's a lot of stuff that people just don't know. And for the last 20 years, this office has gone unnoticed until it's too late. And that does not serve Georgia. I believe in building a Georgia where work works for everyone. Georgia is one of the very few states where people get to actually elect their labor commissioner. That means we have a real chance to bring moderates to the system, finally build something that works for everyone, and making sure that people's voices are being heard, seen, and supported. You should vote for me. Well, I hope that you vote for me, and I also have your support because I truly understand the reality of work in Georgia. I've lived as a single mother. I've tried to find a job with and without a degree. I lived as a public school teacher. I lived helping families in Miller, Georgia navigate their housing situation, the day-to-day struggles to stay stable. And I've also lived through forming my own organization where I built a national network that has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs access funding, training, and opportunities that turn real jobs into real community. I'm running because our system should work for people who keep this state running. Workers deserve support when they need it. Parents deserve childcare that doesn't break them. Small businesses deserve a real partner in the Department of Labor. And every county deserves access and just not the ones in Atlanta. I have lived experience, I have leadership experience. I am excited about this position, and I know that I can make work for everyone. Also, I am just the best candidate.
It always helps.
But more importantly, I am ready to do the work. I'm ready to serve. I know I can do this job. I know I can do this job well. And I know that the people of Georgia will benefit greatly with me as labor commissioner.
All right. Well, Nikki, thank you so much. You are a woman of many talents, intelligence, and drive, and I appreciate that. And again, just the fact that you're putting yourself out there to run statewide in a big state like Georgia you will always get my appreciation and the appreciation of voters just for doing that. I hope to see you up here in the north as you swing through the state a couple
Well,
of times, maybe.
let's
So
let's make that happen, Tom. Let's make
yeah,
it
yeah, I
happen.
will. I
Yeah.
will. We'll definitely have that stuff on Mobilize and other places, and you're always welcome to come up. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Tom.
Okay, goodbye. Let's see. She wanted to